All right, it is showtime according to the Facebooks and to YouTube. Hey everybody, Patrick Kenny here, and we are live to cover a topic that is something that has helped me personally. See, we struggle as business owners to articulate what we do, and that is known as messaging. So my friend Melanie Warren is here today. She is going to share all the sugary goodness she helped me with many months ago, where if you checked out my email or if you saw any of the messages on the Facebooks about this, she is the person who helped me go from a guy who knows all the Google stuff, the ambiguous Google stuffs, to being the YouTube ads guy. She helped me personally with my messaging so that you all know me, or maybe you know me if you've ever heard of me, know me as a YouTube ads guy. So she is the expert on this. She is going to come on today, right now, and she is going to, let me get this right, she's going to show us how to create powerful messaging that compels customers to buy from you, even in a down market, which we're kind of in right now. So I'm going to bring Melanie on real quick. Melanie, are you with us?
Hey, I am. How exciting is this?
Welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to the YouTubes and the Facebooks. That is the official name of all these technologies.
That's what it's now called. It has been christened and henceforth shall be known as
the YouTubes and the Facebooks. It's plural. So, yes. So welcome. How are you, my friend?
I am great. I have been hopping on and off calls all day today and recording stuff and helping people, and it's been cool.
Oh, good. Yeah, we were talking offline about you did a podcast with our main man, Kevin Rogers, a little while ago, and you're just a hot commodity these days.
Here's what happened. So I got onto a rant about how I was right about some stuff. And then Kevin was like, that's actually really funny and interesting. Can we record that? And the next thing you know, I'm like, but hang on, but I'm wearing the requisite copywriter hoodie. It's black. I'll get a scarf. And so I ran. He's like, no, it's fine. I'm like, no. So anyways, scarf. So this is the solution to most down economy issues, in case anybody was wondering. If you have to work from home, the answer is a scarf.
A super scarf.
A super scarf.
There you go. And for those of you who may or may not know, if you live under a rock, welcome out from under the rock. If you don't know who Kevin Rogers is, that is our friend and mentor of Copy Chief. So a little shout out to Kevin and all of his awesomeness. But Melanie, so your awesomeness is messaging, and I like it. The intro, you helped me several months ago really dial in. You were the one that had the aha moment and said, nope, you're the YouTube ads guy, when I was just kind of ranting about what I did. So what are we going to learn today? Is it something around the kind of the ninja stuff that you did for me several months ago?
It could be. You know what cracks me up when you tell me that story? First of all, I love that you tell that story because why not, right? But what I love about that story is that's not the way I remember it. The way I remember it is because my superpower actually is that I listen, and I have a special way that I listen to people, and then certain things just sort of pop out, right? And so you were talking about whatever it was you were saying, and all I heard was YouTube ads. And it didn't even matter what you said after that. I'm like, yes, of course, more words, more confusion. No, you're the YouTube ads guy. And as far as I knew, for the rest of the time we worked together, that's all there was to it. And so it was really funny when you looped back around. You're like, I'm going to be the YouTube ads guy. I'm like, I know.
Yeah. Like Charlie Brown's teacher, it's just all you hear was want, YouTube ads, want. Oh, you do YouTube ads.
That has to be the best part of coaching, because a lot of times I hear things before they hear it, and yeah, that's great.
Well, and so before we go into your presentation, that's a really good point, because right now, as of this recording, a lot of people are kind of just wanting to themselves, and they need someone to kind of pull them out of the funk, pull them out of the fog, out of the, not being able to see the forest through the trees. And for those of you watching this, whether it's live or recorded, Melanie, you have the ability to do that. And before you go into your slides, I'm going to give you a shout out to 9buyersystem.com, right? Number 9, buyersystem.com. That's Melanie's stuff. If you want to check out, she's going to give you some amazing training right now, and just to give you some hope and some ideas and how to look at how you're speaking to your customers right now, which is more important than ever. But go check out her stuff. 9buyer System. I can vouch for Melanie. She helped me personally. She's helped me shape all the cool stuff I'm doing, focusing my efforts on YouTube ads. So check out her stuff. And if you want to learn how to do amazing things with video ads, of course, you can check out learnvideoads.com. So that said, your website, my website, all of our awesomeness out there, let's get in some training.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I made slides.
All right, cool. There you go.
Okay.
I think we're good to go. If you want to hit play on that, and I'm going to sit back and enjoy the training with everybody else.
Okay, great. So these all got made in a big rush yesterday. But actually I'm really proud of them because I never make slides. So anyways, if you want to tell me my slides are great, that would be fine.
Your slides are amazing. And just
thanks.
For those of you watching this training, she turned these around very, very quickly for you all. So this is a gift.
They may or may not have typos, but we get what we get.
Hey, you know what? It's money loves speed, yes. Right?
Actually, that's a really great takeaway for today. Is there shall be no sitting around on one's hindquarters on the couch because money loves speed.
Thou shalt gettest to the worketh.
That's right. So this is me. I'm a direct response copywriter. I write in the help niche. I also coach and teach marketing messaging for new copywriters, and I coordinate copywriting training for a major financial publisher. I'm also the mother of 5 children who, because they love me, are not in the house right now because they know I'm going to be doing this. And I also am a leader on a Latin dance team. And let me show you a picture of what that looks like. Okay, so this is me. Okay, so in the one picture, you see me and 2 of my daughters all dolled up to be all ladies team, which is like, fancy hands and high heels and the whole thing. But in the other picture, if you notice, I'm the only woman on the lead side of this team. The reason I'm telling you this is, so all those years, it must have been like 25 years, I read all these books on leadership. It wasn't until I started leading on the men's team that I realized those books are literal. So where it says step up, they mean that. Where they say set priorities and start taking charge and going down those, all of that is just take it straight up literally for anybody who tends to overthink a thing, because I'm the queen of overthinking. So super important.
That's fantastic. I looked at the slides earlier and I just now noticed that you were the only woman on that side.
Yeah, it's actually super rare. It's slightly more common now, but I maybe know 5 female leads in all of Boston, and we have a fairly sizable community and we're fairly inclusive. We're one of the more inclusive communities, and yet it's very, very rare. And so it's been 2.5 years now, and more than once people made me cry. More than once people went out of their way to try to intimidate me and make me stop. So for the women out there, if you're stepping up in a leadership role in any area of your life, it's normal to experience that. And also it's okay to text me crying, because it shouldn't happen, but it still does. But that doesn't mean we should stop doing it. And within 6 months, more and more women were coming to me saying, hey, I think I might want to learn to lead. I used to think it was too hard for me because I'm a girl, but now I've seen you do it and I think I can too. And it just kind of blew my mind that in this day and age, we're still at that level of I can't do that because I'm a girl, and that's not real.
Well, and this is going to tie into some of the stuff you're going to talk about with the messaging, where you don't have to follow the social norms and follow whatever everyone else says is okay, especially in marketing your business. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Oh, it is. And especially now, there's going to be people now who will say we need to duck and cover. And if anybody who sticks their little head out is going to get whacked on the head. You, me, and anybody watching this right now, we don't have permission to act that way. I looked around, I looked over my right shoulder and I looked over my left shoulder, and there's nobody else. So we need to take a leadership role and make sure that with our customers and our clients that we're really stepping up and leading the charge, because the world's going to look different as of a couple of days ago. And I don't know that it really goes back to the way it was before. We're looking at a new reality. And so we have to lead and landscape what that's going to be.
To add to that, number one, for those of you watching, under fear of punishment, I'm not allowed to self-pity and go into like huddle mode, because I know Melanie is going to seek me out and harm me if I don't use my God-given talents to help people. And so Melanie's going to do the same for you. So you actually want that in your life. But progression, this is what it looks like. Unfortunately, so to add to the world is not going to be like it was a few days ago. I think that's a good thing. The momentary stuff that we've got going on right now is going to yield better things. And I think that's a whole mindset shift. And part of what I'm going to shut up and let you cover that in the messaging. But I think an important thing is we're going to be okay. We're actually going to be really good. New things are going to come out of these difficult times that when we get on the other side of it, we're going to go, man, I wouldn't have wished that on anybody, but going through it, this is what I've learned and I'm better for it. At least that's
so true. So true.
All right. So my friend, over to you.
Okay. So This is where we are on our little roadmap. So I'm the messaging lady, and I struggled with this for a long time. Like, where am I going to hang my hat? Which is going to be another takeaway, by the way. There'll probably be a takeaway per slide, but you get to pick where you hang your hat. So in my case, I come from many years of coaching and psychology training. And so for me, it's all about the messaging, but we're also going to have some guest speakers coming up over the next few days. Friends of mine, people I admire, people I respect, people I'm jealous of sometimes because they're so good at what they do. And they're going to be talking about how to find the right market for you. So avatars and finding your niche and all of that. And they're also going to be talking about the different kinds of media, which is how do you take the message, match it up to the right audience, and then get it back out there into the world. So who do we have coming up over the next few days?
Well, you said that, and I said, I better have these ready. So tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, the lovely and talented Allison Carpio is going to cover some CRO, and that is conversion rate optimization, which I believe I have a better headline for that. I've got to pull it up. And I believe we've come up with 3 ingredients to supercharge your sales is currently the winner for that one. So that's talented Allison Carpio. And then Thursday at 10, Chris Orzakowski is going to be on, and we're going to cover how to make it rain with email marketing. He's going to be very generous with some of his tactical email that can really could make or break some businesses right now who are freaking out about ads and costs and savings, all that stuff. So that'd be a good one. Friday, we'll just go through real quick. Friday at 10 a.m., Abby Woodcock is going to come on. She's going to share some of she's doing great things at the Freelance Co-op. She's going to cover some mindset stuff and how you can adapt your offers. She's had some amazing conversations with freelancers who are just kind of not sure where to go. And she's had some really good ideas on that. And Saturday at 12, Brian McCarthy is going to cover case studies that convert. You can use some past customer interactions to grow sales and boost your authority in your market, especially in a down economy. And Monday, Angie Coley is going to come on. She's going to cover her MVP system. And I'm sorry, Angie, I know you're on here, and we worked out the title of what that is. And it's not a 3-step formula yet, but she's going to put some awesome stuff on her spin as far as copy and things that convert with her MVP system. Tuesday, Rachel Mazza is going to come on and work her amazing skills in advertorials and how you can supercharge your sales with less traffic, because a lot of people are facing fewer customers, less traffic on platforms. And then right now, Wednesday at 1 p.m., Mike Renard is going to come on and do his magic with story mapping on Facebook ads. And then we have a few others that I'm still locking down times, but we will continue the good times and far into next week.
It's crazy to watch this grow and grow and grow. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be good stuff. I'm excited for it. So, but back to you and your awesomeness. Let's continue down this.
Okay.
I want to get to the meat of this.
Okay, let's talk about what the world was like a few days ago. So this is what it was like. You have a brilliant idea. You're going to have a course. You have a program. You're going to have something, the information of some sort. Or you're this guy. You went and bought some stuff, and now it's in the garage, and you have to sell it. You're an e-com guy, and that's how you're going to make your living. So people are in one of those two situations, and then they come to me with this question. How do I get people to buy my stuff? Which I think is kind of a funny question, because if you went to all the trouble to get the stuff, perhaps along the way, thinking of how you were going to sell it might have been the way to go, but nobody ever does that. People gather their stuff, and then they need to sell it. So then they end up in this weird situation. They buy a book on copywriting, and they come across a messaging formula called problem, agitate, solution. There's a lot of problems with this, like a lot, but it works okay if you're in a world where people are used to it. People are bored. People have nothing going on in their lives, and they don't mind so much if you point out their problems. Some people don't like it. In fact, direct response marketing traditionally has a 1% to 2% response rate. So there's quite a few people who actively dislike this particular formula, but it has worked okay in the past. But now we're looking at this. And so now I think it's probably the right time to start talking about the real problems with this old formula.
Well, Melanie, I'd like to point out on the last slide, I don't think you covered enough of China with that mask. So I think you need to revise that image next time.
Yeah, we talked about how I don't have a career in graphic design.
Oh,
Yeah, there's hard times over here, but never mind. It'll be okay. I hear there are wonderful, wonderful people out there who would be happy to do that service for me.
yeah, for those of you watching, if you're a graphic designer, we need an
Oh my gosh.
globe with full mask coverage on
For sure.
on the Asian continent.
Yeah,
All right, continue.
yeah.
Enough of that. Continue. This is great stuff.
Okay. All right. So I have several complaints, but these are my favorite four. My first complaint, pointing out people's problems. So we're in a high stress environment. Walking up to people, which is what you're doing when you're inside their phone or on the website or on their laptop, you are walking into their world, usually unannounced, blatantly pointing out people's problems. Okay, this is always rude, but now it's being seen as taking advantage of a bad situation. So yeah, now you're looking at a thing. In the past, maybe they ignored you. Now they're going to blast you. If you're a business owner right now, the comments that you make, the emails that you send out. I actually got an email today from somebody who said, hey, my life's great. Anyways, if you'd like to buy my thing so that you don't have a problem the next time this happens, I was absolutely shocked. And I don't know if the person didn't think that all the way through, but there is no way that business comes out unscathed from that kind of messaging. On the other hand, I got an email same day from a different company that said, oh, we sell classes for drawing. If we understand you're stressed and home alone, if you would like an entire month's worth of our online classes for $10, here's the link. That's a really good
Perfect offer.
So
Perfect.
good.
Yep.
And then I got an email from a brick and mortar. It's a car dealership. It's a Chevy dealership in my town. And they're like, we're sorry about what's going on. We can bring the car to your front door. We can do 120 days, no payments. And we've extended financing to 84 months at zero. It was this crazy, amazing, compassionate offer. I may not buy a Chevy because my car's fine, but wow, really good offer.
But how many people have just been exposed to Chevy's branding from a smart franchisee on this? And who knows how often this is, once this is after the live, this is going to be out there for both of us for a long, long time. And Chevy was just mentioned in a positive way. That's just a smart approach to business.
Yeah. There's no amount of money that buys that kind of goodwill. Okay, here's my next complaint. Agitate the problem. Okay, so I looked it up. I have this weird thing where I Google definition, blah, put in the word because I just want to know. I'm a curious person. Okay, so I look at agitate. Agitate is the same Latin root as emotion. Okay, so that means this formula starts out with intellectually walk up to a person and poke the bear.
Yeah,
Step 2, make them feel bad.
Yeah.
Nothing about that makes sense. It never made sense, and it won't work now. We are already at our boiling point emotion-wise, and people are shutting down. And I don't know if you've ever walked up to a person and really looked at their eyes when they're in shock. There's a moment, and there's a lot of emotion, and then there's suddenly no more emotion. And that's where we're at. No amount of adding hype, drama, or power words is going to move that needle anymore because it's already pegged at the top.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've been trying to sell your stuff with hype or drama or get excited, there's no more adrenaline. We're all cooked. So that's no longer going to work.
Yeah, the bro marketing is no longer going to work.
No, it can't. The way the central nervous system works is just not possible.
And just for those watching that don't know what I mean by bro marketing, it's the guys that are out there going like, hey, bro, check out my stuff. You want to be like me? It's amazing. Well, people are trying to survive. They're trying to see 5 feet in front of their face. They don't care about bro marketing. They don't care about the Lambos and the big house. They just want to make sure that their relatives are not going to die from this thing. Mm-hmm. As of this recording, where a lot of us are locked down with coronavirus. So that's, to your point, agitating that's when you started getting some visceral responses from people, at least in my experience.
Oh yeah. There's no way that goes well. Cause like the previous point, it's not just going to be, we're ignoring you. It's going to be, we're blasting you. Mm-hmm. Do you come back from that? I don't know. Yeah,
that's a hard thing. Once somebody has a negative notion about you or your business or your brand, that's hard to break.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, here's my next complaint. Offer your solution. Okay, so first blush, this seems like a decent idea. make an offer. Would you like a spaghetti for dinner, or would you like meatloaf? This is pretty decent offer. I like them both, so that's fine. The problem here is that if it's another intellectual thing. So it was intellectually point out my problem, then it was poke the bear and make me feel bad about myself, and now it's be needy. No, this people are smart, people are stretched to their limit, and if your offer isn't exactly on point for what they need, they're no longer going to try to make it work. It used to be like, oh, this shirt kind of fits. Maybe if I stretch it a little here and pull it a little there. That's not going to happen anymore. The things that you're selling have to perfectly fit the market that you're speaking to, or they're gone.
Yep, I agree 100%.
And my final complaint is about profit. So if you were doing a thing where you had your advertising and your funnel set up that you needed to make money on the first sale, that's a luxury we don't have anymore.
Right.
You cannot rely on quick hits, quick wins. I love a quick win as much as anybody else, but you need to start playing the long game. And especially when Chris comes on to talk about email, what he does with the reuptake funnels and the re-engagement things, like that stuff is masterful, and everybody's going to need it. It's not a luxury.
Yeah, it becomes a must-have. I talked about this on the live yesterday. We're now at a point in your business, you have to adapt to your consumers. You have to, so that your customers are in a circumstance of overwhelm and fear. You have to adapt your business to that customer circumstance. And what Melanie is talking about right here is taking the messaging of old and changing it to a must-have language that's not going to make them want to punch you in the face. Is that fair to say?
That's pretty much where we're at. It's weird that things have gotten so extreme so fast, but that's really where we're at.
Well, I will stake my claim on this right now. The businesses who survive the next decade in this on-demand, easy-to-change economy, it'll swing one way or the other. The businesses who survive are the ones that have the quickest adaptability.
Mm-hmm.
When you can pivot, you have tools in your toolbox, and you have people like Melanie, as a resource, and you should have Melanie as a resource for your business, because she created these slides like that. The market changed, she had the slides like that. That's adaptability. You need to have tools in your toolbox, messaging set for any one of the scenarios. So an event happens, your business is not caught off guard, and you can adapt your message to the current circumstances.
Absolutely. It's huge. Huge, which is exactly where we're going next. The old tricks are not going to cut it. What's up next? And here is the core idea. In order to make this work for you, you need to start selling according to who your customers are as people, not by the basket of problems they carry around with them. And I would say that is the biggest crime in the old formula, is that we looked at people as problems, and we looked at ourselves as the hero with the solution. And we can't act that way anymore. That person is not an opportunity for me to sell my meal kit, but they are as a real person who has to feed their family and is living on a budget, or not living on a budget, or has or whatever is their entire landscape. And we need to start seeing that for what it is.
So Melanie, how would you do that now with, I know you're brilliant with going through webinars and reworking webinars so that they work really, really well, and this is an example of how quickly you put these slides together. How would you do that with someone who's kind of in a state of overwhelm? Are you going to break that down a little bit in the next few slides as to how, you sell according to where they are and sell them the promise of we're going to be okay?
Yes. I would say that has been the biggest revelation for me of the 9-buyer system. I've been working with this idea for years, and it wasn't until the climate changed that I realized the full functionality of what the system can do for people. So I would say until a couple of days ago, maybe the 9-buyer system was a nice to have. Maybe it was just yet another persuasion thing or another tool or something. But now all of a sudden, it's looking critical, because like I just talked about on the previous slide, what we skated by on before doesn't exist. And so let me show you some cool stuff. Okay, so these are the 3 secrets that I pulled up. I could have done a dozen, but why? Let me just get in on a couple of things that I thought were super important. Okay, the first thing you need to know is it's not about how you sell, it's about how people buy. So if you've focused in the past on persuasion techniques to get people to do stuff, I'm me and I cause you to do a thing, that all needs to stop. Any resources that you can find on buyer psychology, what people go through when they are doing the action of buying, will be very important for you going forward.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that as far as like, so yesterday, to give you a little context and tee this up a little bit more, because I want to get your perspective on this. And just for those of you watching and listening, because this will also be a podcast audio. So watching and listening, in the last live stream that I did, I took, and this is from old copywriting books. It's not original. I just pulled it out as a resource for people just to remind them that it's a resource there. 100 motivators for why people buy.
Mm-hmm.
So with those motivators, could you elaborate a little bit on, when you say it's about how they buy, can you elaborate more
Yes.
and kind of tie it into the mind buyer system?
A lot of the old books they sold soap. They sold toothpaste. They sold toothpaste to people who had never heard of toothpaste before, because it wasn't a thing until somebody introduced it into the marketplace. An entire lifetime of people from the beginning of dawn of time, no toothpaste. And the soap was the same way when
they wife that was tired of eating dinner too close to their husband, but that's
right. No more onion breath. We're solving this problem right now.
Necessity is the mother of invention, right? I want to stay married. We've got to fix this.
That's right. That's right. So how would you sell a thing like that? Okay, well, lots of drama, pointing out the prop, pointing out the onion breath, the whole thing. And then you tag on one of those motivators, and there's a lot of good motivators in their list. So it would be something like embarrassment was one you mentioned yesterday. And wanting to solidify relationships would be a good one. Wanting to save money would be a good one. So now you're the sort of person who's in a situation where you need to write a sales letter. So the question is, now it gets really complicated. Which motivation do I pick? Which one do I put first? And then all of a sudden you're back in the 9 buyers again. You're like, oh, shoot. Well, what is the core driver for why a person drives? Because that's going to tell me what my headline's supposed to be. I've got 6 candidates for motivations. They should buy my soap. Which one do I go with first?
And fortunately, there is a system to help you whittle that down. I'm told.
I want to show you the 9 buyer types. Okay, so I have 2 philosophies on this. 1, people are all the things all the time. 2, people tend to be quite unique. Okay, if you are a person, so imagine this is a little bit like Myers-Briggs. And so you're an INTJ or whatever that is, and you read all the books on what it means to be an INTJ. And then you get into sales. Like, oh, good idea. I'm going to learn all 16 types and everything that there is to know about them. And then I'm going to sell according to the types. And then you realize, oh, shoot, in order to sell to them, I have to get them to take a quiz to find out what the type is. And then it all falls apart. Okay. The reason the system works is that it is based on how people buy. Now, you could take the time to memorize all 9, but you don't really need to, because there's only 3 of them that trigger action. The rest of them exist to support that action because of this. So when people are stressed out, I shouldn't be this excited about it, but I am. When people are stressed out, they tend to behave as though they were other buyer types. So if you've been selling to people this entire time who just love being invited to events. It doesn't even matter what the event is. You send out the invitation, they come. And all of a sudden, they're not coming to your event, assuming that the world has opened up again. We can all go to events. All of a sudden, they're not responding to invitations. Why would that be? It's because when people are under stress, a person who is normally an invite me buyer will masquerade as one of the other types. So you need to do a couple of things. You need to look at your buyer list and say, here's my emails, and I noticed I get really good responses when I invite people to things. And I've noticed that that person also likes this level of support and that level of entertainment and that level of engagement. This is going to show you with X-ray eyes what your ideal avatar actually is, rather than a 45-year-old woman who happens to live in New Hampshire. Okay. From there.
Real quick, so just for those that are watching this going, well, I don't have a list, or I don't think I have a list. Does this apply to advertising as well, like on the cold side?
Yes. And I will show you how to use this.
Fantastic.
For that exact thing. Okay, so this is what I was just talking about, how people will buy based on action triggers, not just emotions. And that goes back to what we were saying a moment ago about people are pegged at 100 on the emotion scale. And so no amount of hype is going to change that. But they will still continue to take action. and you need to know what sorts of things will trigger action. There's a really great book called Triggers. You could read the whole thing. I think there's 40 triggers. It takes a long time. Or you could just concentrate on these three. They are empower, invite, and respect. So empower in your messaging would sound something like, hey, I just want to let you know that you have the power and authority to purchase this thing, use it, get a complete refund, give it to a friend, whatever it is that you're empowering them to do, you are fully enabling them and passing the baton for them to do what needs to be done so that they can take the action they need to. Another action cue you can use is just a straight up invitation. Buy the soap, come to the event, buy the book, get the free download, and you will get a certain group of people that will respond just because there's an invitation. And the third action cue is probably the trickier one, but it is respect. And it's called that because it's about me and you. And so me as a marketer and business owner, I am letting you know that I'm in relationship with you and that I trust you and think that you are important, which is another synonym for respect, because of course I Googled it, and how you are inviting them because of the relationship and the respect and empowering them to be a part of your world. If you go to somebody with that message, you're getting a very different response than, hey, look at my Lamborghini. Would you like to have one too? Right.
Well, because you're essentially reading their mind, right? You're essentially reading their, their desires in their mind. I mean, this is isn't this the formula that you've talked about, the action cue formula?
Yes. Let me show you.
This is brilliant. That's like, and for those of you watching, I'm learning along with you. This is fantastic stuff. Like, this is going to help me make better ads on YouTube. So,
can you imagine? Because I don't know how you've been doing this in the past, but maybe it was just a simple invitation. But if you add some of these other supports to it, how cool would that be?
Yeah, I mean, and I could tell you. So those of you watching, when we split test ads, it's this kind of just succinct 3 things that I can put into a simple formula that Melanie has lined out. And see, I'm taking notes as you're teaching this, and I can take a change of an intro that I do on an ad and measure that result because I'm talking to the emotion. A lot of people get bogged down in the mechanics of like, I did a YouTube ad or a Google ad or a Facebook ad and I didn't get a result. And so much of what Melanie's covering here is like 80 to 90% of success in advertising, regardless of medium, modality, or any of that. So this is fantastic stuff. I'm going to shut up and let you continue.
Okay, here are the action cue formulas. Now, first, what I would like is a gold star because it took me an hour and a half to make that infographic on Canva. Shout out to Canva. You're the best. Where the children are in the background going, are you done yet? Like, what is that?
Mom, why are you cursing at your computer?
We don't have school. You're supposed to be hanging out with us. Can we watch a cartoon? Okay, so there's some insight into my life. Okay, here are the 3 formulas. And you'll notice that in red, I marked each of the action triggers. So they are the same as on this slide right here. But now they are set inside the context that I was talking about. And they also, remember I was saying that when people are stressed, they tend to behave as a different type. So in the past, one of the concerns I've gotten from people is, okay, I want to always speak to the love me buyer. Can't I just in every email say, I love you, buy my thing? And you can't because people tend to move and breathe. And so this is how the formulas work. So if you were to only screenshot one slide, it would probably be this one. So the first thing I'd like you to notice is that fear and greed are not in any of the formulas. And I think that takes a lot of people by surprise. But because of what we've done, what we know in studies from how the amygdala works and how fear works, it tends to lock you out of your ability to come up with better decisions. So you will either do the thing or you will do not that thing, but you won't have the big field of vision to see what the other choices need to be. And so it means you either get the quick sale or the customer is lost. And we were saying earlier, we can't take that kind of risk anymore. So we need a more resilient framework so that even if they don't buy today, they get put back into your sequence and they buy a different day.
And so I'll add to this, and you can tell me if I'm way off base on this, but given as of this recording, people are hoarding toilet paper. I don't know why, but that's panic. That's fear induced. And no one's going to, I mean, sure, you can recall the brands, but no one's going to talk about the loving and reassuring buying experience they had picking up Charmin at Costco, right?
No.
Is that an example of that in practice?
That's exactly it. That's a transactional sale, and nobody's ever going to have a fond memory of that. Probably plenty of negative memories, but no fond ones.
Well, hopefully not too many people have a negative connotation of toilet paper and continue to use it. Otherwise, I will self-quarantine until 2025.
There's just not enough hand sanitizer. Okay, here's what I know. Why
Not
isn't
enough
there
perfume for all the people walking around with, yeah. All right, so continue.
Okay, but I really want to have a conversation about why isn't there a run on bidets?
Maybe there is.
Maybe there is.
It would just be in France.
Yes, maybe that's the case. Okay, all right, so there's no fear in any of these formulas. 2 of the formulas have 4 elements, and 1 of them has 3. And the only reason that matters is that the number 1 and number 3 both have the duplicate efforts of support and teaching. Incredibly useful if you're selling info products, because you always say, hey, let's go on a Facebook Live, I'll teach you some stuff. Or you say in your materials, hey, look, if you have any concerns, send a message to support@mybusiness.com and someone will. So we're used to providing that kind of support and that kind of languaging. So you're going to always need to have that in there. But if you are marketing to the person in the second formula, the second column, they won't need that information in order to buy from you. And I just think that is so interesting. So I am formula number 2. I'm an invite me buyer. That's my formula. So if you come to me and say, hey, I would love to teach you this thing, I'm really grateful. And if you say, hey, I'll support you in that thing, I'm also really grateful. But it's not a reason I would buy or ever think to buy. And I don't mean to be rude. It just goes, and I won't even see it as a buying trigger. But if you offer me an invitation to come on a Facebook Live, I'm right there. I'll wear makeup. I'll put on the scarf, the whole thing. And it's the funniest thing because all people are like this. We love to think that we're all completely unique, but we're actually quite a bit alike.
We are. We're very similar creatures. Just the top 2 layers are different.
That's right.
So Melanie, let me ask you, so when you say the teaching element, like come on and learn this kind of thing, right? To where they'll transition to, this is empowering me to do something, or this is giving me the self-respect to do the thing, right? Is that a safe transit? Like this looks like an ascension model. Is that right? Where you go from teach to typically empower, that kind of how it ascends?
Well, when me and Canva were laying this out last night, I tried it as a circle, and then I tried it as The answer is it's more like an Easter egg basket.
Okay. Well, because I'm looking at the invite piece, whereas the first point of this, so for those watching, wondering like, how would I use Action Q formulas? Like starting with teaching makes sense. Like, okay, teach you the thing, introduce the thing, I've given you some value, and then you can come on this journey with me. How would the invitation element of that work sans teaching? Can you give us an example how you would use that in, I don't know, a webinar or a YouTube ad or something like that?
You're always going to need to have a call to action. So there'll always be some invite me element to it. Just be aware that the people in the other 2 buckets don't need the invitation in order to buy from you. They will hunt for the link. They just want to be around you and buy what you're offering if you're pushing their other buying triggers.
Got it. Okay. Makes total sense. Okay. This is fantastic stuff.
This is part of why one little thing that I have that's a concern about this is the best solution is to use all 9 all the time.
Yep.
But the thing you need to know about it most is that you can't walk up to an invite me buyer, somebody who responds to that formula, and teach them 1,000 things and then be surprised they don't buy from you. They don't mean any harm. It's just not their formula. Yeah,
try that on the street. Hey, sit down. I want to teach you something. No,
right?
You come to have coffee? Oh, okay. Right. Well, and the analogy that I like to use is with cars. When you say that it's, you want to use all of these, it's like when you're working on a vehicle. So you're repairing a vehicle or adding something to it. No mechanic has just one tool. They have a suite of tools that they have to use in order to accomplish the job at hand. And this is no different. And that's my perspective on it.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, here's something else interesting about these formulas. Did you notice that only one of them is something we normally think of as an emotion? So we were talking about how if emotions are pegged at the
Mm.
top line, right?
Mm.
Suddenly this starts to look really interesting. If emotions are pegged, how
Well,
are you going to reach people?
which, sorry, I'm about to express an emotion right now. I apologize if you hear the dogs barking because I am at the home office. I'm about to express an emotion if it gets much louder. So apologies. I'm
Well, I can't hear them, so I
good.
think we're
Good.
doing good.
So
Okay.
I'll try to keep a straight face.
Okay. All right. Only straight faces. Okay. But that I think was the big aha moment for me over these last couple of days. So the old system was point out their problems, make them feel bad about them, offer your solution, profit, profit, profit. But now I can't do that. So what can I offer instead that's going to feel like an emotion, but that most marketers have never even considered as an emotion? Like language around support, like could go, I support you no matter what. We're all going to be together on one big team. Or it could go, hey, if you can't get the app to work, send a message to support@mybusiness.com. Both of those are going to resonate as an emotion for the right person. So you don't need hype. You just need to make sure that you're treating a person as a complete person.
That's fantastic, Melanie. I mean, as I'm looking at this, it's, I know that you're going to develop this into an Easter egg basket graphic for next month because it's March right now. I am a little upset that there wasn't green beer involved since it's St. Patty's Day, but that's okay. I'll let that pass.
I
You
have
got the
failed at all things.
of all things. But for those watching right now, whether you're watching live or the replay, could you give us an example, like something that really stuck out with me? And I'll give you the background for why I'm prompting this, because this is fantastic stuff. And I hope you all email Melanie or visit ninebuyersystem.com and thank her for this training, because this is stuff that she usually charges a lot to coach people. Like, she is essentially doing a mass coaching call with me for our viewers, and this is high value stuff. I hope you appreciate the value she's giving here. So thank you so much for that, Melanie.
Okay.
I saw Ryan Lee sent out an email on one of his products. Chris Orzakowski, our friend Chris Orzakowski, who's going to come on and crush it with email. He highlighted an email that was sent to buyers and customers of a nutrition bar, and it was that they're knocking 40% off all of their bars, basically taking all the profit out of their system because they want to serve their customers. And reassure, right? Dead middle is what comes to mind, that he, sending, at first I saw the email, I was like, that's cool, right? But he's reassuring people that, like, I've got you. We're in this together. We're not here to profit and bro formula. And hey, you need to be like me and buy my stuff so this doesn't happen to you again. He's reassuring people. And
Good.
this is just, this is so good. I mean, could you give someone listening just a tip on how they could just a little nugget of, hey, if you did this today, it would help you with your customers and with your clients? What's something you could give people watching?
You need to imagine that they're sitting on the couch next to you.
Ooh.
Like this is serious stuff. We're in a situation where crowd's no bigger than 10. Okay, well, I have 5 children. That's me, my kids, and like a close friend. That's all that my world is right now. So if I'm selling a power bar, a protein bar, and I turn to you and say, they're 2 for 1, you want some? Like, who acts that way?
That's an excellent point. They don't want 2 for 1. Hey, I'm taking a hit so you don't have to. Reassuring you we're all in this together. Yeah.
And his
that's a
marketing
great
is
thing. Sitting on the next, what would you say to someone watching the news, watching CNN, refreshing, Google News every 5 minutes? What would you say to them sitting next to you on the couch when you see their emotion, their body language? It's a powerful exercise.
Usually what I tell people is, please, can you feel your feet? I have been training in coaching and psychology and helping people for a long time. It's got to be 20 years. And all of that in-depth training comes down to me saying, hey, can you feel your feet? And what I'm asking them to do is reconnect their amygdala and the base of their brain to their vagus nerve that's running all through their body to all of their organs and everything. And if you can't feel your feet, then I know that you're in complete lockdown. But it's such a weird question that it will, a lot of times you'll see their eyes flicker and then they'll come back to you and then you can start having a real conversation. Would you like a glass of water? Can I bring you a blanket? And you just go from there. You have to believe that people are in real shock, and that when people are in shock, they don't know how to feel. They may not feel anything at all. And so you need to be the one who recognizes it and can ask simple questions, and that leads them down the path, because that's all that's going to happen is
Right.
they're shut down. And if you're in a position to lead, it has to be you.
Well, and this is so good, especially starting this series that we're doing with all the other amazing professionals coming on. You're setting the tone for this, so thank you again so much for that. But looking at the conversations that you're starting using this simple formula, I mean, you've put tremendous time and effort behind this. I'm not trying to bring it down to a simple formula, because the creation of it has been massive. The simplicity in that you have taken all the difficult work and put it into a formula that we can just kind of plug in. So, I'm looking at right now with what we're doing with these lives is, like I'm hitting 4 or 5 points that we're doing these lives together just to put value in the market. Yeah, we're telling you about our services. Yes, I'm going to promote Melanie's 9-buyer system. Yes, I'm going to promote Learn Video Ads and everyone else that's on here, because we're here to serve our customers, and that's just how the economy moves around. But we're doing this in a way, I mean, look, Melanie, we're teaching people, and let's see how many of these we can hit. We're teaching people.
Yeah.
I would say that we're respecting their time by offering this live, but also offering replay, and not doing like, hey, 24 hours and we take it down kind of thing. We're reassuring them that it's okay. We'll get through this together. Having a good time on live, entertaining, hopefully you laugh at some of our jokes. Hopefully I don't tell too many dad jokes. And also remind people that, we love our community and our clients and our customers. And, we're here to support you and help you get through this time with, even if it's just, we never talk, you never engage our services. If this is enough to support you and give you that, I can feel my feet now and I can walk down. I mean, we're hitting all kinds of points on here.
Huge.
On this.
Yes. And there hasn't been a single exclamation point. There's been no hype. It's nothing. It's just this value set right here.
Yep. It's like, it's the whole grandma's cookie offer. Hey, you want some cookies?
Indeed, I do. I may or may not have blown off my diet because, coronavirus. So chocolate chip cookies have been a thing around here. Yeah.
They are. I hear that they are, in fact, the best kind of therapy, especially in times of solitude and economic downturn.
And also keeps the children busy. So
your results will vary.
Yes.
It does keep the children busy and us afterwards when we have to clean up. All right.
So many dishes. This is the third and final point. So the world has changed, but people are still people. And here is the big takeaway. If you take nothing away from this except that one screenshot of the formulas and then this thought, people are more than their problems. They deserve the respect of messaging that we designed to meet them where they're at. Anything else is completely unacceptable in the new world we're looking at. And frankly, it was unacceptable before, but we were able to skate by. And that's just not how that's going to work anymore, because the economy won't support it. The people themselves won't support it.
Mm-hmm. I'll just add to it real quick on that. And this is something that I cover on YouTube ads when people are going like, and we talked about this before this live stream. The biggest questions I've had when I pulled my list were around targeting and conversions. Okay. How can I target people properly and how can I get them to convert? Well, my friends that are watching this, Melanie's giving you the formula for how you increase your conversions. You become more human. You follow less of the hypey stuff that's out there. I mean, go back 100 years to Claude Hopkins and some of our dead mentors, as we call them in the copy world. The action key formula she's given you, that's how you increase conversions. When you say people, your products or services, and we can pivot this. You and I can riff and take any business and just pivot.
Absolutely. Yes.
Where you go, do you need a glass of water? Are you okay? Like, what's the next step? How can we help you? Right? That's how you increase conversions. Targeting, and even if YouTube went away tomorrow, which is not, this question is still valid because traffic is traffic. Getting attention is getting attention. I'll condense this down into what is your who doing and why. And I think that's more important than ever right now, because if you answer that, where Melanie has dialed in, like, imagine they're sitting on the couch, they're going, oh, we're at home. Like, what's it going to be like next month? Am I going to have a job? Am I going to have clients? Am I going to have customers? So for those that are business owners that have customers they care about, clients, so consultants, the economy goes round and round. Everyone should answer this who is in business. And it's, what is my who doing and why? What is my customer doing right now and why?
Right. And don't kid yourself about that.
And don't BS yourself as to what they're
Mm-hmm.
doing. They're freaking out. They're
Mm-hmm.
looking for, how do I save my retirement? How do I make my bills next month? How do I keep my kids safe? How do I prevent my parents from dying? How do I prevent myself from getting the coronavirus? As of this recording, it may pass when you watch this. But in good times and bad times, what is my who doing and why? So I'll add that to this and let you get to the next slide. That's just me adding, the people that have polled for how do I improve targeting and conversions? What's my who doing and why? That helps your targeting. Conversions, go back and look at the slide of Melanie's action key formulas. That's how you increase conversions.
Absolutely. And then be on Chris's call so you can learn how to put all those structures in place so that you're in constant communication with your people. Be on the training for the offers and how to pivot them, for how to put them in place in the first place, and then how to pivot them if you do this right, there will never be a time when you're stuck again. Your business will be agile, and the next big wave that comes, like 2001, 2008, now you'll already be ready. That's a really important thing I teach around the house here, is you need to already be ready. And a lot of times we don't know what that looks like.
Right.
But when the moment happens, you just go, and that's all there is.
Well, and to add to that, what you're doing here is you're showing people how to build the foundational ramparts. If you see it like 500, 600, 700-year-old castles in Europe, like how their foundations were built. They've lived through God knows how many revolutions and economic collapses, and yet they still stand. Right? I mean, yeah, we can argue maintenance on roofs and stuff, but I'm talking about the walls, like, when you build your foundation, and then all the stuff we're going to cover in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, everyone's going to come in and give you another building block. So I implore you to take this and apply it fast. Take what Melly's doing right now. When we're done with this, go back through the recording again, take notes, and see, how can I apply this to my business? And then answer the question, what's my who doing and why? Okay, so let's dive into the rest of your slides.
That brings us to the grand finale.
Did you cover that? Did you cover slide 22? I think I talked.
Well, I think we talked around it, but I don't feel the need to read it out loud. But yes, we were talking about how the old messaging formula needs to go away. And the core reality is we can do better. We just can. We have what it takes. And probably the fastest place to implement would be in your emails. So it can take some time, non-zero time, to revamp your sales pages. Don't start there. Correct. Start with what's your messaging on Facebook. That's fast to deploy. Start with your emails. That's fast. If you have the ability to text, if you're a coach or someone who's in text communication, just check on your people. Don't leave them alone. Don't be quiet, because quiet right now feels like alone, and nobody can take that. We need each other.
Yeah, and I'll so Mike Renard's going to come on, and we're going to talk Facebook ads. He's the genius on the Facebook ad side. And contrary to popular belief on, Google guys do not hate Facebook guys, and vice versa. Mike is one of my favorite people. He's brilliant, and he's going to come on. We're going to riff on some traffic stuff. To add to what you're saying, Melanie, you could take $5 a day, take some of the messaging here, take an imperfect video on your iPhone, because everyone has a studio in their pocket. Just put a good message out there, basically asking the person on the couch next to you, you need some water? You okay? Like, here's how I can help you. If you need some help, let me help you, right? You can start $5 a day, get your message out there. And then you could do $5 a day on Facebook. And then you could take some emails. Imperfect action is better than nothing. People are at home right now. Everyone's at home. Your customers at home. They want to hear from you. So I'll leave with that. Let's wrap up with some free resources that Melly's got for you.
So one question that people might have is, okay, I'm sold on this idea of an action cue formula. What's the right formula for my business? What are the right formulas for my customers? And the free way to find that out is to take the quiz. Upside, it's free. Downside, it'll take you a few minutes. So if you have a few minutes since you're home and have nothing to do today, maybe take the quiz and find out what kind of formula is a good fit for your business.
Excellent.
Another free resource I have is the 9 Buyer System book. You can buy it on Amazon if you want, but it's free on my website. So you can go that route. And then the third one is, please set your notifications to get the rest of these trainings, because what you're going to see next, I am blessed to be part of this group. I am amazed and inspired by them every day, and they're going to offer you a lot of great resources. So make sure you set your notifications. And that's me done.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Melanie. I will add to that. If you're going to go download Melanie's book, 9buyersystem.com, and I would encourage you to read it. And if you get any value from it, and I know you will, go to Amazon and buy it, because that will support Melanie. And then take her quiz, get to know her stuff. And if you are in a position in your business where you want to accelerate your results, you want to get some concrete expertise like Melanie helped me with she helped me pivot my business. She said it was just YouTube ads. Well, you need that in your business, in my opinion. So this is hard a pitch as I'm going to have for Melanie, just because you did help me personally. I'm forever grateful for that. So 9buyersystem.com, reach out to Melanie, have a conversation. She's not going to sell you, but see if it's a fit. If you want to improve your messaging, and you should be doing that in your business, especially right now while everyone's at home, reach out to Melanie. That would be great. And I know she'd love to help you, because that's the kind of person she is.
Absolutely.
And if you would like to learn more about video ads, I'm going to cover more of that with everyone else for the rest of the week. You can go to learnvideoads.com. My offer is you can sample my training. You can go, what did I do, Melanie? I forget. We've been talking about your stuff all the time. I think I did some free training.
Yeah.
If you go to learnvideoads.com, I've got some free training that I've got on there. Can't remember exactly what the offer is, because we've been on for an hour and it's been a long day. But I'm going to do some free training for everybody on this stuff very tactically. If you want to get into video ads, that's as hard a pitch as I'm going to have, because all of us that are doing these lives are here to help you, here to give you hope and support and love. And what are the other Action Key formula items?
Some celebration. Did we mention support? All things.
Easter eggs,
Easter eggs for everybody.
all that stuff. So go check out Melanie's stuff. That's it as far as the training goes. Please leave us a comment. Go like Melanie's stuff, like her page, like her YouTube channel. And we'll see you tomorrow, where Allison Carpio is going to get into conversion rate optimization. And we'll keep the good training coming. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Melanie, thank you so much. Any final word?
No, thank you. Thank you so much for putting this together. It's a real blessing. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it's my great pleasure. All right. Hope you enjoyed it. Everyone have a wonderful day. I will see you all tomorrow with Allison Carpio. Thanks, Melanie. Talk soon. Bye, y'all.